What's up, gamers? How's it going? Well, not necessarily been a week since Shadowlands came out, and I wanted to do a little Shadowlands interview week one to tell people about my thoughts on it. I want to get this out of the way right now. It's fun. It's a lot more fun than I had in BFA when it first came out. It's also a lot more fun than I had when Legion came out. Now, this could just be because I'm not in school anymore, so I can actually play a lot. Who knows, though? I sure don't. Either way, it's more fun. With that out of the way, let me talk about some things that are good. 1. Covenants. At least for me. I'm not sure about anyone else. I really enjoy Covenants. When Covenants were announced, I already knew what Covenant I was going to go to, which is Necrolords, obviously. It just fits my aesthetic perfectly. And I knew as a Death Knight, I was going to be getting something useful out of it. And some other places did have useful abilities, like Night Fae was pretty useful. Tyrion was also pretty useful, but those two aesthetic-wise, bad. Not good. Night Fae's alright. I kind of like the plate armor, but like they cannot ever beat. Fuck is this being? They cannot ever beat this. Look at this. It's amazing. By the way, I have a Necrolords Association community. Do we have any more applicants? Not. It is for the Necrolords only. I'm making it. We have a community of Necrolords. We talk about how cool Necrolords are. And also, so we can find groups easily. That's what it's going to be used for, whenever we get more people in. Currently we have 5 people. If you're interested in joining, just look for it. We're on the community finder. Next, Soulbinds. I did have a problem with this earlier, but I don't anymore because I now have 2. I had a problem with only having 1 before because I couldn't change my Soulbinds when I was out and about. Like, I couldn't change my conduit without going to the Soulbind Forge. But now that I have 2, I can switch between them at will. So I can have 1 for Frost, and I can have 1 for Blood. So I don't need to be forced to take Brutal Grasp. Although Brutal Grasp is still pretty good, I gotta say. Abomination Limb doing that much more damage, really nice for AoE. So that problem has been rectified. I got my second one. Still not being able to change conduits is kind of annoying, but it is now just a minor inconvenience than a whole ass inconvenience. Another thing, dungeons. I've done all the mythic dungeons. I've done all dungeons. They're all pretty good. All the dungeons are fun, except for Sanguine Deaths. Why is the last part so long? I don't get it. But all the dungeons are fun. The other side, fun. I really like the Mana Storms fight. The Mwizala fight is also really fun. I do need to run it again so I can get this, hopefully. We'll find out what happens. I could get that too. Halls of Atonement, the first boss is kind of a pain to unlock, but still pretty fun. Because after that, it is mostly quick. Mists of Turnaseath. The only part that's annoying about this is Mist Caller, but other than that, fairly straightforward. Plaguefall, I love it. Not a fan of Glob Grog, especially when I'm on my caster, but you know, I'll take it. Margrave Stradama, I really like her fight, but only on Mythic because in Normal and Heroic doesn't have tentacle slams going on when she's above ground. So it's just kind of boring whenever she's down below and tentacle slams are coming out. Very sad, very sad. Spies of Ascension. Good dungeon, but I've done it so much to the point where I'm tired of it. I did it a lot when I was leveling my Warlock because I just dungeon spam. Actually, no, Spies of Ascension 60. I did it a lot once I hit 60. There we go. Product Wake. This is gonna be this is good. I like Necrotic Wake. I'm trying to get the mount. I need to run it on my Warlock this week. I'm trying to get the mount because I love this model. Your Pain, all good. I really like Zav the Unfallen because he throws 2 DPS in a pit to fight out. That's fun. Leveling experience. The leveling experience is pretty good for both following the storyline and joining a covenant once you just get there. So I've done both, so I can say both are fun. I'd say following the storyline was quicker. I think adjustments need to be done to the quest rewards while leveling with Threads of Fate, because completing quests and bonus objectives felt like it just gave nothing, at least compared to dungeon. I don't think that's right. I don't think dungeon spamming is the answer in any scenario. So yeah, Blizzard, if you could make some adjustments to Threads of Fate experience so I can actually level through the side quests and objectives, that'd be great. I mean, I'm sure I could. It'd just take a lot longer than if I were to level with dungeons. It was actually taking longer to level than it was when I was going through the main storyline, which may be intended, but I think they should just be about the same at most. Like, I did a whole stream for this guy to 1 to 6, 50 to 60. It took about 11 and a half hours, and it was about a level every hour. I was not getting a level every hour on my lock. I was doing Threads of Fate. Story was really good. I like the story of Maldraxxus the most. Big surprise. But second favorite was probably Revendreth. The ending was like, whoo baby. That was a good ending. Bastion and Ardenweald are kinda eh. Ardenweald was my third favorite. I don't really like Bastion that much. Like when I got to Bastion, I really liked Bastion because of new land experience, you know. But like after experiencing all the other places, Bastion was not that good as the other places. Like it's still good, but it's not as good. Would I recommend people get into WoW now? Yes. Now is a really good time to get into WoW. It's always a really good time to get into WoW, especially when a new expansion drops, because there's a large influx of players playing. So you'll actually be playing an MMO, unlike the past 2 to 3 expansions, where there were almost no one out and about, after like the first two patches. Well, maybe not Legion. I hear Legion. People like Legion. I wasn't a fan. I'm not lucky with I wasn't lucky with the legendaries. Um but yeah, now's a good time to get into WoW. Not only because you'll be seeing a lot of players, but also because the level cap was reduced. So you'll be spending less time leveling than you would be if you started last expansion before that, because you only need to get up to 50 to actually start Shadowlands content instead of having to get up to 120 to 130 if they hadn't reduced the level cap. It's a lot of fun. If you are a new player coming in, I also recommend getting someone that knows WoW to play with you, or at least have to answer questions, because you're gonna have questions. I've got two friends playing Shadowlands, Joey and Trey. They've been asking me questions a lot. Not necessarily how to play the game, but story-wise, because they're interested in that. And, you know, they're gamers, so they know how to game. But, like, if you're not a gamer, then you might need someone to ask how to game. I think that's, but let's see, I talked about dungeons, leveling, story. Did I talk about story? Yes, I did. Um, dungeon. Did I say dungeons? Questing, leveling, dungeons, story, covenants, soulbinds, mission table. Mission table. The mission table is really cool. I actually really like the mission table now. I didn't before. I thought it was a chore to do before. Speaking of chores, we'll get into that next. The fact that the mission table is kind of strategic now. I mean, right now I've just been putting it in all the slots and I've been winning. There's been one that I've lost because it was an asshole. He had like 5,000 health or something, and all my guys couldn't get him down. It was very strange. But I really like the mission table. I've got 3 companions at the moment, 4 now that I have many. So I can have up to 4 missions going at once if I don't put them together. I do need to level these up though. That is priority number 1 at the moment. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but troops, their levels are based on the average level of your companions. So you see how these 2 are 14 and these 2 are 3 and 1? They average that out to go down to 8. I didn't notice that until like 2 days ago. And I'm like, oh, that's neat. That's neat. So you can't just have ridiculously high troops if you don't have ridiculously high companions. Although this does lead into the problem of whenever you get a new companion, you need to level them up first before you go do the high level quests again. We'll find out if that's annoying or not. Next, cores. There aren't as many. There in BFA and I want to say Legion, although I don't remember too much about Legion. So no, it was 2 years ago. More, basically 3 now, because 2 years would just be the end of the expansion. But in BFA, there was a lot of stuff to do that was mandatory. There, you had to do in Islands, PM, Warfronts, World Quests, something else, dungeons. But now, you don't have to. I mean, you can still do dungeons every day. You can still do BGs and whatnot every day. Like, there are daily rewards for them, for queuing up for them. anima, but anima is certainly not as important as Azerite power was, which is great. Anima isn't really used for progressing your player power, which is awesome. Anima is mostly used for fun stuff to do with your covenant, and also the weekly quest to give you renown. So that is important, but like you're gonna be getting anima from other things you do anyways. That doesn't really matter. But yeah, the fact that, and you can like grind a lot of anima as long as you do your dailies and the world quests. You can grind out that anima, but you don't need to. You're not forced to. You might be to do a quest to build one of your sanctum upgrades. Might have a quest to get a certain amount of anima to upgrade these, but you are never like inherently forced to do anything to make yourself more powerful, as long as none of those quests to upgrade sanctum locked behind renown quests. As long as that doesn't happen, yeah, it's like I'll do a heroic dungeon every other day. I've been doing PvP every day because it's fun. By the way, PvP is really fun. Scaling is gone, so I'm actually doing damage now. Also, the fact that two-handed frost is back means I can do big damage now. The PvP, at least. I think that's it. I think that's it. Legendaries? Do I want to talk about legendaries? Nah, we can talk about that next week. We'll talk about that in the third week, not next week. I'm gonna do a week in review on week 3 because next week the raid comes out and I'm gonna be doing that instead of making a video to review. But yeah, after this week right here on the 16th, 15th, we'll do another review. I'll talk about how fun or not fun the raid is. I'll talk about how lucky I was with my legendary drops, because I want this one, but it's from the raid, so I can't get it yet. I also want one from the raid for blood. Still can't get that one yet. So right now I'm using Sephuse's proclamation because I do PvP. Yeah. That's it. Week 1 in review for Shadowlands. Good fun. It's fun. It's great. I love it. I'm loving it. I hope that this keeps up, because I sure as hell would love a good expansion. And you know, it is shaping up to be a good expansion. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching. If you have any thoughts on Shadowlands yourself or any questions for me, go ahead and comment them down below. If you agree with me or disagree with me, say so. And if you just like this, go ahead and like the video, maybe subscribe. There will be more Shadowlands content. I'll try to have an even amount of League and Shadowlands, but no promises for now. Sorry, everybody, but I really, really, really like Shadowlands. Fun, dude. That's it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good one. Peace out.